So today, we're going to unlock one of the most powerful tools in all of mathematics, the linear equation. Now, I know, it might sound kind of simple, but it's the absolute foundation for everything, from predicting how a business will do, all the way to designing the video games you play. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to see the world in a whole new way. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory we're talking about. Let's make it real. Meet Caroline. She's dreaming of a spring break trip, and it's going to cost her $2,500. Now, she's got a job where she earns money at a steady rate. So the big question is, how many hours does she actually need to work to make that dream happen? See? That's not just a life question, it's a math problem, and it's one that a simple linear equation can solve perfectly.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the basics, the what. Then we'll jump into the how, solving for those tricky unknowns, and even tackling something called rational equations. After that, we're going to turn these equations into pictures, visualizing them as lines, and see how those lines relate to each other. All right, let's dive right in.
First things first, what is a linear equation really? Before we can start solving them or graphing them, we've got to understand their DNA. This part right here is the foundation for everything else we're going to do.
Okay, so at its core, a linear equation in one variable is basically the blueprint for a straight line. The number one rule, the variable, our x, is never squared, never cubed. Its power is always just 1. And the best way to think about this is to picture a perfectly balanced scale. That equal sign is the pivot point in the middle. If you add 5 pounds to one side, you have to add the exact same 5 pounds to the other to keep things level. That one single idea, that's the key to solving everything.
Now, believe it or not all equations are created equal. They kind of have their own personalities. First, you've got an identity. This is a universal truth. It works for absolutely any number you plug in for x. Then you have a conditional equation. This one's a lot pickier. It's only true for one very specific value. And finally, you get an inconsistent equation. This one is a total paradox. It's never true, and it always leads to some nonsense answer, like -15 equals -20, which it doesn't. Most of the time, we're going to be dealing with conditional equations, hunting for that one special solution. All right, so we know what these things are. Now for the fun part. It's time to get our hands dirty, open up our algebraic toolkit, and figure out how to solve for that mysterious x. Solving a linear equation is a lot like a puzzle. There's really only one goal. Get x all by itself on one side of the equal sign. And this 4-step process, it's pretty much a foolproof way to get there. We start by cleaning up each side, first by distributing to get rid of any parentheses, then by combining any terms that look alike. From there, it's all about shuffling things around, getting the x terms on one side and the plain numbers on the other, until we can finally pin down what x is.
Let's put this process to the test with a nice, clean example. 2x plus 7 equals 19. Our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to find that one single value of x that makes this statement true.
So remember our golden rule. Keep that scale balanced. Our first move is to get that 2x term by itself. To cancel out the plus 7, we do the opposite. We subtract 7 from both sides. Easy enough. That leaves us with 2x equals 12. Now, to undo the multiply by 2, we do its opposite. We divide both sides by 2. And just like that, boom, we've got our answer. X equals 6.
All right, time to level up. What in the world happens when x shows up in the bottom of a fraction? These are called rational equations, and yeah, they look pretty intimidating. But here's the good news. We have a super powerful technique to make those fractions just disappear.
And what's our secret weapon here? It's something called the Least Common Denominator, or the LCD. All it is the smallest, simplest thing that all the different denominators can divide into evenly. Think of it like a universal key that unlocks and removes every single fraction from the equation, all in one clean move.
Okay, and this is where the magic happens. In this problem, our LCD is 6x. Now watch this. When we multiply times every single term in the equation by 6x, the denominators just vanish. They cancel out. This messy-looking rational equation instantly becomes a simple, friendly linear one. 21 minus 10 equals 44x. And that is a puzzle we definitely know how to solve. We get 11 equals 44x, which means x equals 1/4.
So far, we've been deep in the world of pure algebra, right? Just numbers and letters. But what if I told you that every single one of these linear equations can also be represented as a picture, a perfect straight line on a graph? Let's explore that connection right now. Now, the single most important property of a line is its slope. We usually call it m. And slope tells us two really important things. which way is the line going, and just how steep is it. We calculate it as the rise over the run, which is just a fancy way of saying you take the change in the vertical y direction and divide it by the change in the horizontal x direction. To really work with lines, you need two key formulas in your toolkit. First up is the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. This is what you use to analyze a line's equation. It instantly tells you its slope and where it's going to cross that vertical y-axis. The second tool is the point-slope form. This is what you use to build a line's equation from scratch. If you know its slope and just one single point that it passes through, this formula is your best friend. Okay, so we've got the biography of a single line down. Now let's talk about our final topic, how lines interact with each other. Because they don't just exist in a vacuum, right? They can be parallel, running side by side like train tracks forever, or they can be perpendicular, crossing at a perfect sharp right angle. And the secret to understanding this relationship is actually really simple. It's all about the slope. Parallel lines are easy. They have the exact same steepness, the exact same slope. That's why they never cross. Perpendicular lines are just a little bit trickier. They hit each other at a perfect 90-degree angle, and their slopes are what we call negative reciprocals. All that means is it's a two-step move. You flip the fraction, and you flip the sign. Okay, time for the grand finale. Let's tackle a problem that brings together everything we've talked about. We need to find the equation of a very specific line, and we know two things about it. First, it's parallel to the line 5x plus 3y equals 1, and second, we know it passes through the point 3, 5. So here's our strategy. First, we need to know the slope of our target line. Well, since our line is parallel to 5x plus 3y equals 1, they have to have the same slope. So our first move is to rearrange that given equation into the friendly y equals mx plus b form. When we do that, we see the slope is negative 5/3. Perfect. Now we have a slope, negative 5/3, and we have a point, 3, 5. That's everything we need for our point slope formula. We just plug in the values, simplify it all down, and there it is, our final answer. Y equals negative 5/3 x plus 10. And there you have it. That's our journey through the amazing world of linear equations. We've seen what they are, how they work, and how to solve them. But the real takeaway is this. You now have the tools to see the hidden mathematical structure that's all around us. From the slope of a roof on a house to the parallel lines on a city street, it's all governed by these simple, powerful rules. So my challenge to you is,